Hello everybody, Rich Nass here. I'm the brand director for Design News, but you already know that by now. Sorry I missed you last week. I was on the road heading out to the West Coast and I didn't get a chance to post anything. But I did have some interesting experiences while traveling out there. I'm on the plane and we're taxiing out to the runway and you look out the window and you see smoke coming out the window, which you know is never a good thing. So they take us back to the gate and they say, we have to test that engine. So they test the engine and I'm looking out the window watching this test take place, and I can see the smoke pouring out of the engine. So I'm thinking, what's up with that? About a half hour later, they say, okay, get back on the plane. We're going to take off now. So I get back on the plane, and while I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, was this really a good idea? And that reminded me of a poll that we had taken on Design News a few weeks ago when we were talking about the Dreamliner. And we asked people if they would fly in the Dreamliner. And about half the people said they would, half people said they wouldn't. But I have to tell you, when you're actually in that situation, sitting on the plane, you think about it completely differently. Anyway, 3D printing. It's really pervasive in our space these days, and in the automotive space especially. In fact, Ford says that they've been using 3D printers to build prototypes for some of their parts. The Ford Fusion, when building the Ford Fusion, they used a 3D printer to build a hybrid transmission, which is actually pretty neat. If you look at some of these printers, like the one that was used by Ford, they're upwards of about $300,000 to produce parts like that. But I've seen instances where they're significantly cheaper, depending on your application. If you need something more in the mid-range or so, you'll see printers in the $30,000 to $50,000 range. And I've even seen a few that are really inexpensive, under $2,500, even one that was under $1,000. Obviously, what you can do with a $1,000 printer is different from what you can do with the other printers, but the fact that they're at that level is significant. Speaking of automotive technology, I'll be heading to the New York Auto Show later this week, and I expect to see some really cool stuff there, which I'll post in next week's blog. It's supposed to be the largest auto show in the United States. In fact, I read in a few different places that over 1 million people attend the show. Is that really possible? 1 million people attending the show? I don't know. Seems like a lot of people, but I read it on the internet, so it has to be true, right? Anyway, I'll let you know how it goes, and I'll see you next week. Have a great week, everybody.